Greetings and salutations, comrades. Hope this finds you well. Quick shout out to INN, the Indie News Network, which I am a part of. So I can't.
Me.
No, she's not an Uber comrade.
That's rude.
Well, it's true. She gets on that level, then she'll get the subsequent shout out. But until then, zip it.
I'm your favorite.
So I thought this is a pretty interesting, if not very disturbing story. At Austria will be fining the unvaccinated there. I think it's around 3,600 euros or $5,500 once the mandatory vaccinations kick in that country next year. I think that's problematic on a number of levels. I just don't agree with vaccine mandates. I think, countries should be taking the approach that China has to, educate, inform, agitate, try to increase the knowledge of why, people should be getting vaccinated, but not forcing anybody to. And a couple months ago, they already had 1 billion people fully vaccinated against COVID-19. And again, that's without any type of mandate at all. And now, Austria on the other side of that spectrum, starting next year, they're going to be charging people over $5,000 if they don't get their shot. And I was trying to do some research before, trying to figure out the demographics of who the unvaccinated are in Austria. I wasn't having so much luck, but after we look at this article, I'll just share, some of the demographic characteristics of the unvaccinated in the United States, and perhaps those, numbers resonate in Austria. It's hard to tell, but it would be interesting to see, who the unvaccinated are, in Austria. So look at this. COVID-19 vaccine holdouts faced $5,500 fine in Austria's virus crackdown. Is that S? Is that US dollars? Is that what that means? Austria would be the first Western European country to make coronavirus vaccinations compulsory. Austrians who refuse to get vaccinated against COVID-19 will face fines up to $5,500 once mandatory inoculations kick in next year. The penalties are part of a dramatic move by the government to boost vaccination levels as it grapples with a surge in cases that has forced the country back into lockdown. Authorities will first offer an appointment for people who have not taken a vaccine shot. Penalties will follow if the offer is rejected, according to plans for the measure that will come into force in February. It seems pretty drastic, right? And their vaccination rate is pretty close to what the United States has. There'll also be fines up to, I think that's euros, right? 1,500 euros for refusal to take a booster shot, according to Minister for the Constitution, Caroline Ed Standler. And again, this is something that Fauci has been preaching, is that people need to get, the booster shots, right? You got to get boosted. Jesus Christ, how many of these shots do people need to keep getting? Is it just one every freaking 6 months for the, rest of your life? It seems a little insane. About 40,000 people gathered in Vienna on Saturday, led by the far-right Freedom Party. So there you go. If you don't get your jab, if you don't get fully jabbed, you're going to get a several $1,000 fine if you're in Austria and you're not in compliance with this. Seems pretty fucking draconian. And again, I think if the idea is to really try to get more people vaccinated, fully vaccinated, educate, inspire, try to explain why it's a good idea, why it protects you from, getting these serious health outcomes, either potential hospitalization or death if you catch it, particularly if you're in a vulnerable group. And yes, it doesn't stop the transmission of the virus completely, but it does slow down the rate of transmission if you are vaccinated compared to if you're not. And so I thought it would be interesting real quick to just look at the breakdown of the unvaccinated in the United States. This is from the Kaiser Family Foundation. So this is talking about who, is unvaccinated. Tend to be Americans with lower levels of education, make up a larger share of the unvaccinated population than the vaccinated one, with 46% of unvaccinated adults holding a high school degree or less compared to 34% of vaccinated adults. Vaccinated Americans are twice as likely as unvaccinated to have a college degree or higher. The unvaccinated group also tends to include disproportionate shares of adults without health insurance coverage, as well as those with lower levels of income. Those under the age of 65 without insurance make up about 1/4 of the unvaccinated pop, and 42% of all unvaccinated adults report earning less than $40K a year. So what that tells me, and I think this has been, shown in other studies, the people are maybe, hesitant, haven't gotten the shot yet for various reasons. I think one of those reasons is that, they don't have fucking health insurance. They don't have, high paying jobs. They're, low income earners, definitely part of the working class, and they can't afford to get the shot and have a couple days off of work. That might mean, not being able to pay their rent or mortgage or car payment or whatnot that month, right? So, I mean, that's a legitimate reason, because especially the second shot, I got the Pfizer one, and that second one, I was feeling like shit for a couple days after, and I wasn't really starting to feel like myself till maybe the third, fourth day after that. And if you're, in a job where you don't get, guaranteed, time off, and you don't have fucking health insurance either, like, and if you have complications from getting the shot, like, those are very legitimate reasons. So again, if the United States was really concerned about the health of the population, they would have given everybody fucking universal health care during a pandemic. That would have saved several 100,000 lives right there. And again, I think, in the United States context, at least, it was never really about protecting, the health and well-being of the people. It was always, as Biden said, got to restart the economy. We're not doing any more lockdowns. We got to get people back into the workplace. That has been the whole push of, pushing vaccines in the United States. And so it'd be very interesting and very fascinating to see the, demographic breakdown of the unvaccinated in Austria. And again, if the Austrian government really wanted to get more people vaccinated, maybe instead of fining people for not getting the vaccine, maybe pay people to get the vaccine, the carrot instead of the stick. I think, positive reinforcement instead of negative reinforcement makes a whole lot, more sense. And again, like, if these demographic characteristics and the vaccinated hold true for Austria, then it's the, lower income folks tend to not be vaccinated in the United States. If that holds true in Austria's example, then, like, you're just going to be adding insult to injury. These people aren't going to be able to fucking pay that. So you're just, forcing their hand instead of like, hey, we understand you don't have a whole lot of money coming in. You might have to take a couple of days off work. And, Austria probably almost guaranteed has a better social safety net than the United States, but still, like, $4,000 fine or $4,000, direct deposit or check or debit card, whatever it is, that's a lot better, incentive than say, well, we're going to just fucking charge you $4,000 for that. I mean, it's fucking ridiculous, I think. So what do you think about Austria charging, thousands of dollars for people if they don't get the vaccine? I think it's pretty disgusting and draconian on a lot of levels. Like the video if you like the damn video. Subscribe for more content.
Bye.
Quick shout out to the 2 Uber comrades supporting my channel, my partner,
Me.
no, not her, and Indie Left News. Peace, much love.